Well, we didn't get too much rain last night. It rained pretty hard there. I don't know, it's probably about 9:30 last night. It started raining pretty hard. But it's kind of starting to break up a little bit back in the west. And they said it was supposed to clear off and be sunny this afternoon. So we're in good shape for working. I don't know what they got on the job site down at Carthage, but we should be in good shape. The road's not even too wet, you know, so that's a good sign. So we're all hooked up. We're gonna go down here to Greenfield. We got this one tree to cut. It's a thumper. She's a big one. I've had it lined up to cut for about, excuse me, for about 2 weeks now. Today was the day we decided on, the client, the day he wanted to cut it. So today's the day we're gonna bring her down. I hope we can get it loaded with the skid steer because it's a beast. So let's go get it on the ground. Well, that's it. That's a thumper. It's one big tree. It's gonna fall right out here in this yard, which that's where we want it to go anyway. We'll take the grapple, we'll pack all the brush back here. They're getting ready to build a new house. That is one big chunk of wood. Honestly, I don't know if the cat will be able to pick it up. And I'm sure it's going to have some metal in it. Old yard trees like this usually do. But we'll see what it looks like when it gets on the ground. It's got one limb that could make a log, but I think it'll bust up on the way down. Right over here, this limb. So, Dad's sharpening the saw. I've got the chains off, so let's get unloaded and get underway. My Dad's cutting. Luckily we've got a north wind because this thing, it does have some lean to it. Had to clean out my skylight there. He's gonna leave that back side hold, and then it kind of leans that way anyway, and we've got a north wind to help us there. Luckily, we need all the help we can get today. Then I'm going to push on with the skid steer here when it comes time to do that. But it's a big tree. Dad's already thinking he doesn't know if that little bar on the 66 or 661, whatever you guys want to call them. I still call them the 66. He doesn't know if the bar is going to reach through. Luckily, I've got one of the 88s in the truck there in the box with a 36-inch bar. So, I mean, it's a beast of a tree. I mean, you can see Dad there and see how small he looks next to this tree. We've kind of got an audience over here, onlookers watching us, so talk about pressure. And of course, the trick about pushing these things, you can push quite a bit with these skid steers, and this is where you need a little extra weight on the back to kind of give you more traction to help you push. You need all you can get. Because we did get a little rain last night, so the ground does have a little saturation to it. Not too much where it's a sloppy, muddy mess, but just enough. And it might actually help to kind of help us get traction too, instead of it just being totally dry. So we're hoping for that. We're just hope we can bring it down. You know, me and Dad were talking about before we started. We kind of went over our game plan and kind of talked about what each of us were going to do and what our roles are in cutting this tree. So he's boring right now. He's boring it out, punching out the inside of it. And I mean, once we get it down, that'll be the hard part. I mean, cleaning up the mess, that'll be easy. But this is the stressful part right here, especially you got over here to my side. I mean, I'm right next to this little outbuilding here, so really don't have much room for error at all. Everything's got to be just right. Really couldn't justify dragging a skidder up here, and we've already had a neighbor ask us about cutting trees in his backyard, which they both had bad leans and weren't that big, and I sure didn't want to run the risk of cutting them and tearing something up. So here we go. I mean, like I said, he's whittling away on it. So trees like this take a while to cut. And that's what I was afraid of. She cut a little bad there in the center. Busted on the way down. Damn. Tight quarters. I knew we ran the risk of that. You always do with these big trees. There it is. Like I said, that limb come down with such force. It didn't bust it bad, but it still busted a little bit, just kind of the outer piece. It didn't hurt the main body of wood. I'm getting ready to jump out here, and I'm going to grab a saw and start working up the top. Dad, he's going to, I guess, cut a log out of it. I thought we were just going to halt one piece, but I guess he has other ideas. So I hate that, man. I thought it cut pretty good. You never know, man. Just one of the big risks you run. One of the big risks you run on these bigger trees. You know, the big tree we cut a couple weeks ago, it did the same thing, had a bad spot, which I don't think it'll go too far, but it hurts it. You know, it hurts the value of it. So still a big tree. Now, hard part's done. Just got to do some cleanup now. Just got to do a little cleanup. It didn't do too bad. Well, I think we got 4 logs out of it total. One of them busted up a little bit on the landing, which nothing could be done there on that. There wasn't no avoiding it as big as that top was. I mean, the only way you could have done is if you'd have topped the tree out piece by piece, but there wouldn't have been any money involved, and there wouldn't have been any meat on the bone. So we're going to load a couple of these chunks on Dad's little 1-ton here. He's going to haul them back to the yard. We're about 20 miles from the yard, so not too bad, especially on a Sunday. So he's there in position. I'm going to load the first big chunk up, and we'll get it on there, and away we'll go. So this is the part of the job I don't mind at all. So we're cleaning up the treetop. He's got this back lot the gentleman does, and he wanted all the brush back here out of the way. Man, no problem at all. We just cut it up a little bit on the ground. The old skid steer and brush grapple here. They make pretty quick work of it. And it looks so much better. I mean, we're going to leave a few tracks today where the skid steer's running up here. But other than that, you won't even be able to tell we're here. You'll just see there's a tree missing, or should I say most people that drive by or in the neighborhood will see there's just a tree missing. Let's see if I can do the one-arm bandit here with the skid steer. Top's coming along nicely. This is the last grapple full of debris. Got a little dirt in there too. We're trying to rake the ground up. See a little bit of dirt falling out, but it raked up pretty good. Now a big tree like that, the way we cut it up, it made a nice, neat little top back here, a little pile. Let me do the old one-hander here. That's it, man. That's got it. Close the grapple there. Yeah, that made a nice, neat little pile right there. For as big as top as that was, that piled up really good, cleaned up good. We'll keep the boom up in the air a little bit so you can see. We'll lower it just a tad. Kind of block our sun here, but man, that did for a tree that big. That cleaned up really good. So there's some leaves and stuff there, but for the most part, everything's gone. A few little twigs. There's where it was. There's the stump. I mean, it cleaned up really good, really nice. Now we've changed plans here about how we're going to haul these logs. I'm going to put the grapple in the bucket on the back of Dad's truck, and I'm going to put these logs on the front of my pintle hitch and load the skid steer on the back, like I did a few weeks ago. So Dad's patiently waiting. He's been over here just watching me work. Cleanup's not much fun, but it makes it a lot more enjoyable when you got a machine like this. So I'm going to lower this boom down and unhook my hydraulics, and then we'll go ahead and set the attachment, this and the bucket, on Dad's truck. So let's do that. Those right there are the kind of jobs I like, man. It's 2 hours, done deal. Tree cut, brush piled, logs loaded, on our way back to the yard. It'd been better if the tree would have cut a little. Wow. Let me rephrase all that. It would have been much better if the tree would have cut good. That bad spot goes up in there quite a ways. It wasn't real big, maybe a little bigger than the size of my fist, but still, I mean, you hate to see that. And I knew when I bought the tree, I knew it ran a risk of doing that, and to be honest, I didn't worry about this one quite as much as I did the one 2 weeks ago. because the one 2 weeks ago had lightning scar on the top of it, and I knew there was a good chance of it being a little bad, which it was. But this one here, really, I thought it would cut sound. I didn't see anything that made me think the tree would cut bad like that. Which, I mean, that's a prime example. That tree was still putting out a lot of leaves, had a lot of walnuts on it, but it was time for it to come down. You know, it was an old tree. The health was starting to decline, as you've seen with the pictures I showed you there. You know, it hurts. It hurts when you buy trees outright, buy them standing like that, and you know, because Southwest Missouri is a competitive area, man. It just, there's a lot of people like me out here that buy trees like that, and you got to be as competitive as you can when you buy them, and you know the risk involved on deals like that. The tree could cut bad, or like when the top fell, you knew that it could run the risk of busting a little bit like it did. Didn't hurt the main body, but it did bust up one of the logs and the limbs, which all in all, we made 4 logs is what it made. A big 8, a 12, big 12, and a couple small 9-footers, I think. So, you know, the footage is there. I mean, that's the main thing. It'll look good back on the yard with everything else, you know. It's just a big tabletop type log, so it'll be. I had high hopes for it, I really did. I was excited. I'd been, since the day I bought that tree, I'd been wanting to cut it. You know, I was like, man, I just couldn't wait to get in there and chew it down. But everything come down good. That was the important thing. No incidents, no problems, no mishaps. And that's always the main thing when you bring a tree down like that. And the cleanup went extremely well. I was happy the way it all cleaned up. It looks good. Other than a tree missing, you can't even hardly tell we were there. You really can't. So we're headed back to the yard now. Like I said, we're just 20 miles away. We're the next town south in Greenfield, Missouri. So we get back to the yard. We'll do a review of the logs, and I'll show you with this nasty load I'm hauling them. You know, I know some of you guys are gonna. It's like the load a couple weeks ago when I hauled that other big one in. So I mean, we're loaded. The old 550's just muscling it right down the road, though. She don't even know nothing's back there. She likes it. She likes it. So let's go to the yard, get unloaded, get my attachments off Dad's truck so I can put them back on my trailer, and do a review of the logs. And tomorrow, I know I've had some people talk to me about putting what it's like to put S-irons in logs, so you're going to see that tomorrow when we drive some irons in some logs. So guys, let's go to the yard. Down here on the yard, that is a load of logs. That one's 12 foot, so we had to move it to the Ford a little bit in order to get the skid steer on here. But the old 550 pulled her home. No problem. Yard's starting to fill up. So now, one boom. Yeah, you just never know how these big trees are going to cut. Like I said, I lied to you, it's a little bigger than my fist, but yeah, I don't know, maybe a little bigger than a softball the way it looks. It'll be bigger than a softball, smaller than a basketball, I don't know. Too damn big either way. But it's just more footage for the yard here. I hate that. I mean, I really hate that. That was going to be a good tree, and there was nothing on it that I seen that made me think that it would have been bad. But that's just, it's an old tree. To my surprise, it's not showing any blue. That's what really surprised me. There's no metal in it. Never know on deals like that. It's a roll of the dice every time. I mean, it's still a good sized tree, and it looks good in here with the rest of them, but man, when they cut like that, it's not really a money making deal anymore. It's a hope to break even deal, especially when you figure your time and fuel. That's the name of the game, though. It's all just a big risk. That's pretty much logging in general is a risk. We're loaded back up and boomed down, so tomorrow morning we'll be headed back to Carthage to that job and try to put the wraps on it. We're hoping by midday Tuesday we'll have the job done. And I was contacted by the client yesterday afternoon, and he wants me and Brandon to do a little dirt work for him, so we'll be back down there to do a little dirt work, do a little building pad. Oh, well, my lights has been up. They've been up, or they can be bent up. Let's get up here. There we go. Good as new. So yeah, me and Brandon will be down there, and we'll do that pad for him. Give us a little something extra to do. And this week we get wrapped up with that job. We got to move the skidder down to Mount Vernon. Got a job of walnut down there on a beautiful, beautiful farm. It's another job I'm really looking forward to cutting. Get it all ready to roll. Well, that's it, guys. That's it for today. I guess we'll be back at it tomorrow. Get all of our stuff up here. Another day in the woods. Like I said, things don't always go as planned. I've been looking so forward to cutting that tree, and to see it cut bad just broke my heart. Broke my heart. But like I said, we got it down safely. Didn't tear anything up, didn't hurt anybody, got all the mess cleaned up, and that's the main thing right there. That's the main thing. So guys, getting off here. Gonna go, I'm sure I'll find something to do to take up the rest of my day. It's about lunchtime for me because I'm hungry. Guys, thanks a lot for following and watching. Be sure to be with us tomorrow. We're gonna drive some S-irons. I know I've had several people ask what all that's gonna entail. And so tomorrow we'll go over S-irons, using them, and what it's going to look like when we pound those suckers in a log. So be sure to check us out on the social media outlets, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Like, comment, share, all that good, awesome stuff. Guys, thank you so much. Getting off here, going to get something to eat. We will see you tomorrow.